All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're a couple of days removed from the Denver Broncos' historic, wildest comeback you'll ever see, ever. And I've been trying to think all day of some type of analogy, some type of take, something to make it all fit and make sense, and I just can't do it. Because what I saw in that football game is truly just insane. There were so many moments, obviously more so in the fourth quarter, where, like the Theo Johnson touchdown, where it's just like, I have no idea what I just watched. I have no idea how all of that happened. It's beyond words. It's otherworldly. It's just nuts. And that's a really good way to describe this Denver Broncos team right now. There's like this mystique and this something, this special ingredient that they have that just feels like it's fate. It feels like it's destiny. There's been so many games so far this season for the Denver Broncos, whether it was their 2-point victory in London against the Jets, whether it was their come-from-behind victory on the road against the Philadelphia Eagles, whether it was their last-second loss in Week 2 to the Indianapolis Colts. It's just like, it's a hard team to describe because they're so good. Almost kind of reminds me of my Green Bay Packers, but maybe a little bit flipped. Like the Broncos defense, and obviously there's some, don't get too caught up in the specifics of that theory, but my point just is, like, the Broncos defense is, the number one defense in the NFL. They're just an insane defense. Maybe didn't look like it for all the four quarters against New York on Sunday, but the defense is very good. The offense is young. They're trying to figure it out. Packers defense, it's good. Young, trying to figure it out. I guess they got Micah now. And then the offense is, it's a talented offense, right? So it's a little bit flip, but you get what I'm saying. Like, the Broncos defense is the best. The Packers offense isn't the best, but you get what I'm saying. My point just is, there's some kind of enigma, some type of energy from this Broncos team that has me feeling like it's some type of destiny team, which is just crazy because we're in week 7 and the offense will figure it out. They'll play a complete football game and it'll be figured out. All right. That's how Sean Payton's offenses usually work. And there's way too many instances of shooting themselves in the foot, yet they're still winning games. And if I'm not mistaken, the Broncos have lost by a total of 4 points so far this season. So that was kind of a weird intro rant. Welcome back to the channel. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. You guys know the deal. Obviously, all 33 points of Denver's victory came in the fourth quarter. It was one shy of the NFL record for most points scored in a fourth quarter. They had only 102 yards at halftime, and Bo Nix in the fourth quarter was insane. And altogether, Bo finished 27 of 50 for 279, 4 touchdowns. 2 of them are passing, 2 of them are rushing. We mentioned that Theo Johnson touchdown earlier. Theo Johnson had a touchdown for the Giants with about 10 minutes remaining in that football game. And I was watching the Packers play the Cardinals during your Broncos-Giants game. And I did a live stream on the channel immediately after, and I still hadn't watched the Broncos game. I didn't know what happened. It was like, what was the score? It was something to 8. It was like 26-8. I mean, it was insane. The Broncos had a 0.2% chance to win that football game. So Bo Nix in the fourth quarter goes 16 of 25, throws for 174, has 2 touchdowns throwing, 2 touchdowns rushing, like we mentioned, and it was beautiful. And it's still kind of surprising to me that this 5-2 leaders of the AFC West, they're still being overlooked. It's like a nitpicky type of assessment that this Broncos team is getting. You never want your team to peak too early. That's obvious. And what's so crazy is these Broncos wins are just nuts. Like the last 3 in specific. That Giants game was crazy. That Jets game was stupid. I hate these international games. And that Philly comeback was also insane. It's like, what? What did I just watch? I entered watching this game knowing what the outcome was. I knew the Broncos had a historic fourth quarter comeback. But when I'm watching it actually happen, looking back at the game, it's like, what? How did they win this game? It's insane. So why are the Broncos struggling? Well, in that game, what I noticed is the penalties. They had like 12 penalties, over 100 yards, and it's momentum killers. You can't have that. So Denver's entering this matchup against Dallas, leading the NFL in yards penalized by a huge margin. They have 575 yards from penalties. The Jags come in second at 528. So Denver's got way too many defensive penalties. They've got way too many fourth down penalties. They've got too many special teams penalties. It's just weird. And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago on this channel saying, Sean Payton, when you have these like Super Bowl champion caliber teams, it takes them a while to get going. You don't want to peak in the first month or two of the season. And so when we look at the grand picture of it, people are worried about this Denver Broncos team. I don't think they're going to be as penalized moving forward as they have been. They're second in the NFL in punts. Sean Payton loves film. Bo Nix loves film. These guys love watching film. And Sean Payton even had an interesting personnel comment that I kind of took as like, watching that game back, Tyler Bidet, he Notre Dame guy. Isn't he a Notre Dame guy? Missouri. He had only 2 catches for 19 yards. Those 2 catches were huge. And so I took his personnel comment as something like that, maybe trying to get Evan Ingram open in space or more targets to Evan Ingram. We're seeing a lot of screens. And my whole just kind of point here is you're going to get better as the season goes on. And the fact that the Broncos have this 5-2 record, people are viewing it as like a pretender when I don't understand it in any way, shape, or form. The Broncos offense looks a little bit stale at times. They look a little bit predictable. For example, they had 12 passes or targets at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. That was the most by any team entering the Monday night games, and it was the most of the week. 5 of the first 7 attempts resulted in either incompletions or gains of 1 or yard less. So that wasn't working, and they lead the league in passes behind the line of scrimmage. And Sean Payton likes it, and he sees it as a, just another level to the offense, kind of an extension of the run game, get the field spread out, get the defenders working the sidelines, just open up the whole field. The Broncos are 23rd in passing rating on plays either behind the line of scrimmage or at the line of scrimmage. So I know it's a part of Sean Payton's offense. It's just not working right now. The penalties are overbearing. These are kinks that they'll work out, whether it's personnel, whether it's play calling, whether it's guys just needing to focus or perform a little bit better in certain instances, whatever it is. I know Sean Payton's going to get it coached up. And I saw this interesting article from Luca Evans, and he had a quote about Bo Nix. And so after this game, the 33-32 comeback win, the Broncos after the game decided to watch tape, and Bo Nix kind of orchestrated it. And it's just a great leader on offense in his second campaign. And people bring up sophomore slumps and all this stupid stuff. And it's like, hey, man, the Broncos are in one of the best divisions in football, the best conference in football. They're sitting at 5-2. They've got a difficult final 4 games of the season. Every win counts. I know the Broncos are a playoff team, but you want home field advantage. You want to win the AFC West. You want to even possibly win the AFC. So every win counts. You won't. Maybe you'll remember this game, but you won't remember the Jets' victory, come playoff time. So however you win, it's a win. And all this small stuff, I think Denver's going to be just fine dialing it in. So that's it for today. Kind of a weird rant video, but I hope you enjoyed it. As always, hit that like button, hit that sub button. We post about 1 Broncos video every single week. Let me know your thoughts on this 5-2 Broncos team down below, and we'll see you soon. Peace.